That Saturday morning, I heard Mike's black BMW honk, only 20 minutes late. "Where's Meg?" I asked him. Mike wore dark shades, slicked back hair, and looked just as sharp as when I met him 12 years ago. "She's meeting Brandy and Celia for coffee downtown. We're going to catch them later at the fair," Mike said. Brandy and Celia? I wondered if this was some kind of setup. We parked and walked to the fairgrounds. "I got to drop off some brochures at the office," Mike said. His company, RA, was one of the event sponsors. The girls were at their booths. When we got there, I saw a hot blonde and Megan smiling, who kissed Mike, and then introduced me to Brandy and Celia. Brandy had long, dark, straight hair. A killer figure, but seemed a bit stiff. She was showing some cleavage, and I had to keep my cool, shaking her hand. Celia was different. Dark curly hair, fit, and smiled right at me. "Nice to meet you, Cameron." "Heard a lot about you," she said. I glanced at Megan. She just smiled slyly. My weekend was definitely looking up. The five of us wandered the fairgrounds. I often ended up sitting next to Celia. She looked me in the eye when we talked and had a great laugh. I felt cool and chatty. Every now and then, I caught Mike smiling at me. It was a damn good day. We checked out all the exhibits for hours, running into people Mike knew. Good for his biz. Later, we hit Mallory's for a beer, hoping to snag a table outside. Brandy said she was heading home. Headache or something. And Mike said, "We'll make sure Celia gets home." We found a perfect outdoor spot, sun shining. Mike told some funny stories about work, marriage, and family. I tried to remember the last time I had this much fun. Celia was easy to talk to, asked questions, and seemed interested. After Mike ordered his third beer, I joked, "Man, I gotta run tomorrow." Celia asked, "Where you running?" Next thing I knew, we made plans to meet Sunday at 9 a.m. We went, had a blast, talking, laughing, learning about her. We clicked, and I hoped she wasn't taken. We dropped her off at her place, and I said, "I'll pick you up at 9 for a run on Rhododendron Trail." As we drove off, I felt Mike's eyes on me. "What?" I asked. He smirked. "All right, she's cool. What you want me to do? I'll run with you guys." "Damn, that quick," I said. "Mike's been trying to set me up since Kim and I split. Thinks he's got to fix the mess with my sis. Maybe he knew about her but never said." Back in senior year, I worked at Specialty Timbers. After soccer, I even worked Saturdays. Learned all the machines, except the veneer press. Kim helped on Saturdays with the books. She went to a fancy school across town, so Saturdays were our time. She was sweet, fun, not stuck up like the rich kids. Halfway through senior year, we started dating. Both working Specialty that summer. Kim was off to Colorado College in fall. I worried about the distance, missing her, other guys. She told me, "You're the only man for me." Honest, but she never said anything about women. One day, Kim's dad, my boss Ted Robinson, asked about my plans. I had no clue. Had a community college app, but no cash. Ted's partner, Mr. Hanratty, got sick with cancer. Came in only a few days a week. Ted said, "Cameron, you know the store and customers. I need young people in the office. You'll work with Smitty sometimes, but mostly learn the business side." I was shocked. Starting at $3,000 a month, plus bonuses if things go well. I took it, wondering if dating his daughter helped. Monday, I showed up in my work clothes. Ted sent me home to change. Then I started learning the business. Ted was smart and easy with customers. I knew products, but not prices or accounting. Ted helped a lot. After nerves faded, I felt good about it. Kept in touch with Kim through fall. Things felt strong. Sunday morning, I picked up Celia at 9 to go for a run. She looked great. We talked easy on the way to the trail. "I usually do 5 miles. You cool with that?" I asked. "Yeah, sounds good," she said. We warmed up and took off. Running with someone new means adjusting pace, but we clicked right away. We chatted as we walked, and I learned she's a dental hygienist from the Bay Area. Her dad was gone. Worked railroad. Mom ran a hair salon owned by her aunt. Mom's Italian, got her curly dark hair from her maiden name, Anna Maria Saltilli. She talked the whole way. We finished the 5-mile loop, got back at 10:30. Felt so good I could have run another 5. I suggested coffee, and we hit a nearby shop. On the way home, Mike and Megan told me Celia didn't have any boyfriend or lover they knew. I ticked off in my head. 1, no boyfriend. 2, fun to be with. 3, she's hot. Maybe my bad luck was turning around. But I had work waiting. Fireplace tile half done, shower board still in the garage. "Celia, I'm loving hanging with you, but I gotta go. You free next weekend?" Yeah, I guess." "How about Saturday?" We swapped numbers and left. I wanted to kiss her or hug her, but held back. Didn't want to rush. Felt good, though. Monday after work, I texted her about hiking Rainbow Falls and dinner. She was excited. Sent a heart emoji. Tuesday was crazy at Specialty Timbers. Ted was in Seattle. Shipment was late, a customer pissed, and one milling machine broke while Smitty worked another. Didn't get home till after 7. Dead tired. I was heating a frozen pizza when my phone buzzed. What now? I thought. It was Celia. Texting back and forth for over an hour. Felt easy, natural. It had been less than a week, but I was pumped about her for the first time in ages. Wednesday night, more texting. Thursday, she started the chat. We talked about Saturday plans. That night, I called Mike while he and Megan ate dinner. He said he'd call back. Later, they called. Hey, Romeo, I heard Megan giggle. How'd dinner go? I tried to steer talk to Celia, but didn't want to sound cocky with Megan around. Oh, damn. You don't care about our dinner, but we know you're seeing Celia this weekend. Your date must have gone good. I said running was good. She seemed nice. Have you gotten her into bed yet? Mike asked. Don't be an A, Megan laughed. Not everyone's like you. We joked a bit more before hanging up. Dude, haven't heard you this hyped about a girl since my sister. I told them I liked her so far. As we hung up, Megan said, just be careful, Cam. I wondered what she meant. Friday after work, I just finished my run, sitting on the porch with a beer. What a week. Last Friday, I felt like crap. Now I felt good. At 8 p.m., I texted Celia to check details for tomorrow's date and see what she was up to. Checked my phone at 9:30. No reply. Weird, but whatever. Picked her up at 1 p.m. We headed up the mountain to the trail. Something felt off. She was still sweet and kind of affectionate, but low energy. How you feeling? I asked. Just tired. Long week, she said. Before I could ask more, she switched to talking about the hike. We enjoyed it. When the trail widened, we walked side by side. She held my hand. Felt good after being apart for so long. We planned for me to drop her home to freshen up before dinner at 7 downtown. She looked great in tight jeans and a snug top. Gave me a big hug and kiss when I picked her up. I thought if I pushed, we'd end up in her bed quick. But I decided to play it cool. The restaurant was cozy, food was great, and wine was smooth. We shared a bottle and had brandy with dessert. I wanted to sober up before driving, so I suggested a walk around the square. The square's closed to cars, full of cafes, shops, bars, and restaurants. It was a nice night. Celia snuggled up as we walked. We were both a little buzzed, but happy. Talked easy, passing couples and groups. As we walked back, I saw a group of young guys ahead. When we passed them at an angle, one suddenly shouted, "Sai!" I got tense, but Celia smiled and moved toward them, hugging 3 of the guys. Hey girl, what's up? What are you doing here? I stood there watching, kind of stunned. After what felt like forever, Celia turned to me, cheeks red, and said, Cameron, these are my friends Bobby, JT, and Marcus. I held out my hand. They looked at each other, grinned, and all tried to shake it in their own way. They talked for like 10 minutes about stuff I didn't get. Something about music in a club called Evolution. Celia seemed real close to them, especially Marcus. There was something between them that made me uneasy. That friendly, warm vibe from before, gone. She seemed to like their attention. After hugs and kisses goodbye, I said, nice to meet you. Marcus just nodded. They walked off, laughing loud a few seconds later. Celia cuddled close again, but her chill mood was gone. Did she really roll with that crew? Nothing wrong with them, but not my scene. She told me Evolution was a dance club in an old warehouse downtown. Said it was fun and we should check it out. I laughed. I'm a terrible dancer. No one cares, it's just for fun. We drove home. I tried to stay upbeat, but something kept me from being as close as before. At her place, I walked her inside and hugged her. Want to come upstairs for coffee? Normally, I'd say yes without thinking, but wanting to do right and protect myself held me back. Nah, I'm good. See you later. I hugged, kissed her cheek, and left. Kimberly and I stayed close through her first 2 years at Colorado College. I hit all her holiday parties. We both looked forward to visits. When I asked about school, she was quiet. Sometimes jealous, I'd ask about guys. One day, maybe cocky, I pushed too hard. She grabbed my shirt, looked serious as hell, and said, I told you, no other guys. Drop it. Then she walked out. Mostly we got along fine. I pictured the perfect life. Me and Kim running Specialty Timbers together. Seemed real, but too good to be true. I learned a lot from Kim's dad, Ted. We had a solid relationship. He liked me and my relationship with Kim, saw me as the opposite of Mike. Mike was smart, but arrogant and wild. Party guy at UCLA who barely graduated after some come-to-Jesus talks with Ted. I wasn't flashy, but I worked hard and knew woodworking. Ted knew Mike wouldn't last at Specialty Timbers. I looked at it as a long-term job and serious with his daughter. Ted was on my side. Here's what happened. I asked Kim to marry me before her junior year. She said she needed time. Mid-year, she asked for space. I was crushed, threw myself into work. We stayed friends but barely saw each other junior year. We emailed and called. I saw her at home sometimes. We worked together all summer, but I gave her the freedom she wanted. Senior year, we drifted. I went on some dates. Nothing serious. Then she started calling and emailing again. I need space, she said. That summer, she came back. We started dating, and she asked if I'd still propose. I was shocked, but said yes. We married that Christmas. I was happy, Ted was happy, and Kim, maybe halfway happy. But I was caught up in my dream of a perfect life. Girlfriend, career, family. For a while, life was good. Kim and I ran Specialty Timbers together. Things looked great. My bond with Ted stayed strong and even grew. Surprisingly, I got closer to Mike, too. Though he was an idiot, he was loyal and kinda liked me. First 2 years felt solid. Then cracks showed. Biggest one was our bed life. By year 3, it was once or twice a month. Looking back, she just didn't like it. Then Millie moved here. She was a friend of Kim's from Colorado. Full name Mingley Pham. Through Ted's contacts, I bought the house I still live in for just $125,000. It needed tons of work. The bank wouldn't give me a loan on it. I bought it on contract from Ted's old partner. Payments came out of my paycheck through Specialty Timbers, which made no sense, but Mike said it was the best way. I made it livable, and Kim never complained. In the back was a small guest house with water and electricity. Millie moved in there. She was an artist and used the cottage as her studio. Kim said Millie spent more time in the cottage than the house. Millie was always cool to me. No tension at all. After 6 months, Kim came to me with tears and said she was in love with Millie. At first, I thought she was joking. She wasn't. No yelling or fights. I saw black and cried. The first time in almost 20 years. The loss hit hard. I realized my whole life tied to Kim, her family, and work had to change. I sat home for 3 days, doing nothing. Dark thoughts filled my mind. I nearly ended it. Then Mike showed up. He talked, listened, and made a call. Within 30 minutes, Ted was there. Ted told me no matter what, I had a home at Specialty. Mike told my dad I needed a week off, and Ted agreed. Mike took me out. We talked and drank. I cried a bit and thought hard. On the way back, I saw things clearer. I was in pain, but I had a job I loved, a boss and father-in-law I really respected, and a loyal friend in Mike. Even Kim and I found some peace. The divorce went smooth. She wanted nothing, and I kept the house. The best part, Millie was sweet and supportive. Hard times came, but I had people who cared. I promised myself to protect my heart before getting close again. After dropping Celia off, I tried to sort my thoughts. Meeting those guys wasn't a big deal. Still, I felt a bit disrespected by them. And by Celia. But it was only our second date. She had a right to friends. Still, something about how close she was with them didn't fit my idea of her. Maybe I should back off a bit. Sunday, I had to finish the fireplace and fix dry rot. After breakfast, I plugged in my podcasts and got to work. Fixing and remodeling my house the way I want feels good. Owning it and making it better makes it even better. In the afternoon, I checked my phone. 2 messages. One from Mike checking on me and one from Celia. Brandy and I are enjoying the weather and coffee. Thanks for last night. Was I overthinking, or should I trust my gut? I needed time to think. Later, I sent a safe reply. Have a good time. That was it. Monday night, Celia messaged again. How was your day? I waited a while, then said, Good. You? She sent a long reply about work and a funny dental patient story. I didn't answer. Tuesday night, nothing. I calmed down. Wednesday night, she called. I was polite, but low energy. She asked if something was wrong. I said no, just busy. She invited me to dinner Saturday. I said yes. Maybe I was petty for feeling upset over nothing. I decided to drop it and see what happens. Saturday dinner was nice. She cooked well and her place looked great. I felt comfortable and hopeful. After dinner, we ended up in her bed. It was amazing. Sunday, we spent the day together, got closer. We ran and this time showered at my place. I showed her my rehab project and she liked it. I showed her an old redwood hot tub I got from a project and where it'd go in my yard. She was impressed with my carpentry and seemed to like my house. Next week, we saw each other 2 or 3 times a week, texting daily. In a weak moment, I said yes to going to Evolution with her Friday night. I can dance a little and don't mind it, but I knew it wasn't my scene. Celia was so hyped I couldn't say no. Evolution's a hot new club in Old Town's warehouse district. Heard of it, but never went. I told myself in a strong relationship, you gotta bend sometimes. This was one of those times. We got there just before 9. Celia knew a bunch of people, staff and customers. The room was dark, strobe lights flashing, DJs up on risers. The dance floor was packed and hot. We found a seat. Brandy and some dude came over with hugs and laughs. Hard to talk with all that noise. Celia grabbed my hand and we hit the dance floor. She was good. I felt out of place. Soon, we were deep in the crowd. After a while, I wasn't sure if I was the one dancing with Celia or someone else. She was having a blast. I shouted, "I'm gonna grab a beer." But she just nodded and smiled. I waited to see if she'd come, but she kept dancing. I stood by the table, catching glimpses of her in the crowd. I didn't see anyone from that group downtown we met a few weeks ago. Celia came back with a drink, but I knew she wanted to keep dancing, so we went back out. I was having fun until I saw some of those guys, especially Marcus. Marcus was a killer dancer. He slid us so he could dance with Celia. I tried to step in, but got elbowed. Maybe by accident, but I doubt it. This went on for a while. I yelled in her ear, "Want a drink? I'll get you one." She nodded and kept dancing. I got a beer and returned to the table. It was just after 11. I wanted out soon. Celia came back, laughing, with Marcus right behind. She kissed my sweaty cheek and took her drink. Marcus grabbed it and finished it. She just laughed. "Let's dance," she said, grabbing my hand. "Nah, I'm good," I said. "One more?" Marcus cut in. "Come on, girl, I'll dance with you." They left. I was pissed. Then it got worse. I watched them grind on the floor, his hands all over her. She looked into it too. I was really mad now. Checked my watch. It was past midnight. I was done. Gave her till 12:30, then I'd leave. At about 12:28, she came back. I grabbed her and we headed out. I was angry but kept calm. No yelling. On the way home, she chatted about how great the music was and how much fun dancing was. I said nothing. Didn't seem to bug her. At her place, she stopped. "Thought we'd crash at your place tonight." "I'm fine," I said. "How about another night?" I forced a smile. "Okay," she said, looking at me. I smiled, kissed her, and made it clear. This wasn't how our dates usually ended. Next day, no texts. I wrestled with my feelings. I liked her, but that night and Marcus bugged me. They seemed more than friends. I was busy all weekend, fixing the hot tub on the deck. Sunday night, I saw a "how are you" text from her. Didn't reply. Monday night, she texted again. "Hi, I miss talking to you. Call me?" I replied, "Sorry, busy. Let's meet tomorrow." "Okay." Tuesday night, no reply. I was still stuck in my head. Wednesday, I got home and saw her black VW outside. Time to face it. She was on my back porch. "What's wrong? You leaving me?" She looked mad. "Look, Celia, I'm confused. Got some stuff going on." "What?" Then I told her about my marriage to Kim, how hurt I was, my jealousy of Marcus, how I felt disrespected at the club. I spilled it all. Figured I might never see her again. She just stared, then tears fell. "I'm sorry. Didn't mean to hurt you. If it means you stay, I swear, no more clubs. I want you. I miss you. I think I'm falling for you." I was stunned. Thought it was over, but we just changed course. Love. She promised no more hanging with that crowd. "Are you sure?" "Yeah. If I knew it bothered you, I never would have asked." That night, we made up in my bed. The next few months went great. We did lots of stuff, took a week's trip to Hawaii. First time for me, and we loved it. Hung out with my friends and some of hers, but never with Marcus or his crowd. I never brought him up. We'd been dating about 8 months, and the holidays were coming. I had her almost every night. We started talking about living together. We spent the holidays with my family and the Robinsons. She got along with everyone, except Millie. For some reason, they kept their distance. After the first year, business grew. We sold stuff in Northern California and Puget Sound. With the building boom, demand was high. Ted asked to meet Thursday night. Sure, I said. What's up? We'll talk Thursday, he said. Thursday flew by. At 5, we met in Ted's office. I was a bit nervous. He said he was turning 60 and planning ahead. Instead of a bonus, I'm giving you 9% of specialty timbers. I was shocked. We opened NorCal and Western Washington, which did well. Now we want to hit Colorado and some mountain resorts. I want you to lead that. You'll travel a few days to a month. You in? Absolutely. I hadn't seen much of the country, so travel sounded great. Being a part owner was even better. I was on cloud 9. Ted said he owns 51%, Mike and Kim each 20%, and I had the last 9%. Kim's CFO, Mike handled finances. I asked if Kim and Mike were cool with me owning part. They pushed for it, Ted said. One more thing, Smitty's retiring end of year. Millie's brother, John Pham, is joining to work with Smitty. Watch him. I will. I couldn't wait to tell Celia. She was happy about me being an owner, but less thrilled about my travel. How long will you be gone? A few days at a time, once a month. She relaxed a bit. Within 2 weeks, I was in Denver. My solid product know-how helped us get orders fast. When I saw my March paycheck, I had $1,500 extra. I asked Kim, "That's your commission, 3% of sales. Didn't he tell you?" I did some math, could sell $500,000 in year 1. That's $15,000 more a year on top of my salary. Almost 6 figures this year. We planned another Hawaii trip for September. I started thinking about proposing to Celia. After the past issues, things ran smooth. Work was good. The extra money let me speed up housework. The house sat on a big lot, single story with a guest house in back. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, open kitchen, office, family room. The cottage had 1 room, bath, and small kitchen. I spent lots of time in the garden, my peaceful spot. Now with the mahogany hot tub, it felt like a spa. Celia moved out of her place in May and officially moved in. Mostly all good. Some tension when I traveled, but we'd get used to it. In August, I invited Mike for dinner. Had some serious stuff to talk about. We met at a bar near his office at 6, outside on a warm night. What's up, bro? I'm gonna propose to Celia. Want you as my best man. He stared for a minute. Marrying again? Remember last time? This is different. I'm different. We were kids. Kim and I didn't know what we were doing. This is now. I love her and don't want to be alone. You sure about her? I thought of a few punches not long ago. We talked more. I felt nervous, like he was trying to talk me out of it. I respected Mike's words, but he didn't know Celia like I did. I want you as best man. I'm proposing in Kauai. We toasted tequila and had a great night. 2 weeks later, I went back to Denver. Needed samples for clients. At the store, when Smitty wasn't there, I grabbed my stuff by the saw. What you need, boss? John Pham asked. I got it, John. He came over, cut my samples, packed them, handed them back. If you need more, I got my cousin. He's good. Good to hear. Call me Cam. Okay, boss. On my last trip to Colorado, I'd asked about a place called Longfellow's. This time, I had a meeting with Junior Longfellow on Monday at 11. Met him at their office outside Denver. He was about my age, blonde beard, hair in a ponytail. We hit it off, and the meeting ran all afternoon. They seemed like good clients, and I liked Junior. Before we left, he said he'd be doing some West Coast tours in November and wanted to see our production. I told him those tours were great for networking. I had business in Montana that week, but said I'd get in touch. The trip to Kauai was amazing. We stayed at a top resort, and my commission helped pay for it. We chilled by the pool and beach, hiked, snorkeled, kayaked, fun but relaxed. The night before we left, we sat on the balcony watching the sunset. I gave her an engagement ring and asked her to marry me. She cried, hugged me, and we went back to bed. Lying there, I asked if she was happy. I am. If you could change anything, what would it be? Nothing, she said after a pause. Then, maybe I wish you didn't travel so much. I told her I'd try to cut back, that it was important for money, and maybe she could travel with me sometimes. Okay, she said soft. I brushed it off too fast, maybe too quick. Life went on, now with wedding plans. We picked Valentine's Day. Celia planned most of it. I helped. Work got busy. Rocky Mountain Market added demand, so we hired John's cousin Nathan in Guyenne and a friend, Van. Knowing Smitty was leaving, I made time with John. He was smart, hardworking, and focused. One night, he invited me for a beer. Nathan and Van were nice too. They seemed to like me and were serious about specialty. We had lots going on, all good. I hired a contractor to redo my kitchen. A guy buying a house from us. I could have done it, but it'd take months. Didn't want to mess up this part of the house. Celia helped design it. We didn't always agree, but her ideas helped. End of October, I had to hit the road again. Celia wasn't happy and pushed me to shorten the trip to 3 days, but I couldn't. My November trip matched up with Junior's mill tour. I'd miss it, but Ted said he'd show him around. I had a trade show in Montana, a good chance to show off our stuff. The show started Friday morning with a cocktail party at 8. I met lots of good contacts. I traveled every night. I called Celia Friday night to check in. Got to my room just before 10 and called. No answer. Maybe she was asleep or in the shower. Called again at 10:30. Still no answer. Figured she was out. Saturday show started at 10. Slept till 7, worked out in the crappy hotel gym. Called Celia at 8:15. No answer. Then I saw a missed call from her, so I called back. Hi. We keep missing each other. How are you? She sounded normal, but a bit off, not her usual energy. I called a couple times. Did you sleep early? No, phone was off, just messing with kitchen work, she asked. Did they finish laying the tile? We talked about the kitchen like nothing was weird, forgetting she hadn't answered Friday night. Thanksgiving was Monday. We'd celebrate with the Robinsons. Celia had been quiet and distant all week. Maybe the holidays stressed her. I didn't say anything. I got an invite from the Longfellows to their Christmas party on December 9th, a Thursday. We talked about her coming, but she had work, and I had stuff, so I went alone. Their warehouse was decked out for the holidays. I knew there'd be drinks, so I called from my hotel. It was fun. Later that night, I showed Junior some Hawaii pics. He saw one with Celia. Let me see that again. Is that your fiancée? Yeah, that's her, I said proudly. He handed the phone back, then took it again, looking serious. What's up? I asked. Does she know someone named Brandy? I said, yeah. Why? I think I saw her with a chick named Brandy at a dance club last month when I was in your town. They didn't seem like they were engaged. That was when I was in Montana. I started feeling mad and embarrassed. I asked him, what do you know? Friday night, after the mill tour, me and another guy hit a club called Dust. Loud, dark, just like you'd expect. Sean, who I was with, was dancing with this Brandy. He said he could have taken her back to the hotel if he wanted. Later, Brandy and your girl were with other guys. I don't remember their names, but they looked like trouble. Do you know someone named Marcus? I asked. Yeah, that's one of them. He's friends with your girl, Junior said. Look, you're my friend. I like you, Cam. And as much as it sucks, I want someone to tell me if stuff like that happens to me. I get it, I said. Thanks for telling me. I should get going. Thanks for the party and the heads up. I gave Junior a big hug and left. I was upset but had things to think about. 1, she said no more clubs. That pissed me off. 2, what's her deal with Marcus? She lied to me, but I didn't know how much. I barely slept. My flight home got delayed. Celia texted a bunch, but I ignored it. Finally, as I was boarding, she called. I picked up. When you getting home? My flight's delayed. Won't be back till 6 at the earliest. That sucks. I love you and miss you, she said. I'll see you tonight, I said, and hung up. After we landed and were heading home, I decided to call her out, see if she'd lie straight to my face. I grabbed her, kissed her, like nothing's wrong. When we got inside, I checked the kitchen and then hit her with it. I gotta ask you something, I said. She didn't even look up. What now? When I was stuck in Montana at that damn trade show last month, what the heck were you doing Friday night? She spun around, all fake calm. Chillin' like always. Don't make it a big deal. I let out a slow laugh, cold as ice. You better rethink that bullcrap. Where were you really? She snapped, voice sharp. I was home, all right? What's your problem? Then she busted out crying and ran off to the bedroom, slamming the door like a child. I sat there pissed off, feeling like a damn fool. 2 hours later, she creeps out, acting like the sufferer, and spills her story. Says she talked to Brandy the day before, and Brandy dragged her to some new club called Dust. Brandy knew I was out of town and said they were just going to check the place. They ended up staying way late, dancing their A's off. So what then? I asked, not buying it. I went home, she said. Alone? Yeah, alone. And Brandy? She screwed her old man, not my problem. So you rolled solo? Yeah. Anyone there I should know about? she shrugged, playing dumb. No one. The whole thing was like pulling teeth. She was twisting words, dodging, acting shady. Finally, I found out they met Marcus and his crew. Hung out with them for a while. She said she bounced at midnight. I asked her dead serious, "You ever screw Marcus?" "F no," she spat. "Does he want to screw you?" She hesitated, voice weak. "Maybe, but he's just a friend. You're the only one I want." Yeah, right. Like I'm supposed to swallow that crap. I told her I needed time to think, and she should stay at the cottage. She cried as she packed and headed there. The timing sucked. We were about to get married, holidays close, and my whole future felt shaky. I called Mike for advice. He told me to come over Friday night. That week with Celia was rough. She was always crying or saying sorry. I was frustrated. I loved her but didn't trust her right now. Can love even work without trust? I met Mike and Megan at their fancy new place in South Hills. I told them everything and asked what they thought. Mike said, "If you can't trust someone, don't marry them." Hard to argue. Megan said, "I feel kind of guilty for hooking you two up. I don't know Celia well, but she's a good person, not bad, and she loves you deep." I agreed with Megan. She said, "At the end, you got to believe in them or not. Only you decide." That night, I asked Celia to come to my place. We made small talk. She looked nervous. I told her she had to be honest. She agreed. I asked if the club scene mattered to her. What really happened that night? She said she and Brandy went to Dust. She said Brandy picked her up when she was down. She was bored and lonely, just wanted fun. Marcus hit on her, but she wasn't interested. The attention felt good, but she only got grabbed a few times dancing. It sounded real, like her. I said it was a good first step. She asked if she could stay the night. I said yes. The holidays passed, wedding plans moved on, my radar stayed on. I watched her close but saw nothing wrong. Celia was sweet and loving when I went on a trip in January. She took a week off and came with me. We had a blast in snowy Boulder. The club stuff was forgotten. In February, we got married. It was great. I met her mom and family. Less than 100 people. Family, the Robinsons, a few close friends. No dance club pals except Brandy. We honeymooned in St. Martin in the Caribbean. Different from Hawaii, warmer water, calmer seas, pretty blue. Strong European feel. Best trip ever. Next 2 years went smooth. Sometimes I thought back to that December, almost canceling the wedding. Glad I didn't. I pushed doubts away and stayed positive. We kept working on the house. It was turning into a real beauty. I was proud. Business went well. We thought about new markets, but were already stretched thin. I got close with John Pham. Great worker and good guy. Knew the gear and store inside out. Last one out at night. Every few weeks, John, Van, Nathan, and I'd hang in the shop after work. Smelled like cedar and sawdust. We'd drink 6 beers each and chat about work and life. I liked them, and I think they liked me. Then a new competitor from Asia started selling here. We first heard about them in SoCal. They made a product like ours, but 30% cheaper. Sales started dropping. We'd been growing fast, adding resources. Now sales were slipping. Ted, Kim, and I met to figure out what to do. Ted said we needed to get out there, talk to customers, explain why our stuff was better. That means more trips, Cam. You got to cover NorCal and the mountain markets. I knew he was right, but felt stressed. When I got home, I told Celia what was coming. How long will it take? Don't know, but months for sure. Months, she snapped. You mean 2 weeks? A month? Yeah, can't promise more. She got mad. Now I was stressed at work and didn't have her support. We had some good times, but over 6 months, things went downhill. We stopped being close. Felt like I was fighting battles at work and home. After 6 months of my trips and her coldness, our marriage hit rock bottom. I had to keep traveling. Business stayed steady, but needed all my energy. She didn't get it. Monday, I left for the Bay Area. The weekend sucked. No closeness, no good talks. I started feeling guilty about leaving. Called her Tuesday and said we needed to spend a night together. When I got back, she seemed a bit more alive. Maybe things could get better. Friday night, we went to Tomlinson's Bistro in Old Town. Celia was sweet, talking good. She even asked about work. We had a nice dinner, a bottle of wine, and some after-dinner drinks. I called an Uber, and we waited outside. I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, Marcus, Bobby, and their whole crew were crowded around Celia. She was smiling, laughing, and Marcus had his arm around her waist. I walked up and grabbed Marcus's wrist to pull his hand away. He flinched like he wanted to punch me, so I shoved him. Next thing, I was on the ground. Someone hit me with something cold. I blacked out for a sec. When I woke, Celia was helping Marcus up. Then she said sorry to them. I was still out of it, but saw what was going down. Then she came to me yelling, blaming me for it. They left. Someone from the restaurant came out to check. I was on my knees, my eyes swollen. Then the Uber showed. We both got in. I was dazed, and she held on tight. Why did I have to mess it all up? Why did I hit Marcus? What was I thinking, grabbing his arm? This is my body. What were you doing? Attacking my friends? She asked. I didn't say a word. Didn't trust myself. I was mad at her and the whole mess. Work stress, marriage stress. And she was siding with Marcus more than with me. We walked in, and she headed to the kitchen like some damn nurse, thinking I needed an ice pack or whatever. Didn't have a clue how damn furious I was. I snapped hard, voice like a growl from the pit. Get your goddamn A away from me! She stood there, frozen, like I just slapped her without touching. I didn't give a damn if I scared her. Get the hell out of here. Take the damn cottage. Hell, I don't give a damn where you sleep. Just get gone. She shot back, eyes blazing but fake as hell. What's your freaking problem tonight? I leaned in, voice sharp enough to cut glass. Tonight? Tonight's just the damn cherry on this crap sundae. My problem? You. Every damn night. No support, no love. Just your goddamn whining because I'm busting my balls to keep this mess afloat. She didn't say a word. Just stormed off to the bedroom, grabbed her crap without a single look back, and slammed out the back door toward that cottage. I needed her out. Needed that silence like a punch to the gut. When the door slammed, I slammed a shot of brandy, then another. By the second, I was staring dead at the walls, thinking about the mess I was stuck in. A life full of bullcrap, lies, and nothing but trouble. I loved my job. It was tough, but it was a career. I loved my bond with the Robinsons. Ted was like a mentor and friend. Kim and I stayed friends, even after the divorce. Mike was my best friend. I loved my home. I kept shaping it into the perfect place. Maybe because growing up, we never had steady housing. Having my own spot meant a lot. I was feeling better and decided that tomorrow Celia and I would talk, maybe even try counseling. I gave her some space. At 9 a.m., I went to the cottage with a tray of coffee, juice, and fruit. I opened the door. No one there. Her stuff wasn't there either. She hadn't spent the night. Okay, what now? I walked the yard for an hour and called her, straight to voicemail. Called again afternoon. Still voicemail. I did some chores, called a few more times, then called Kimberly. She invited me over for lunch. Kim, Millie, and I talked about my mess. Kim said we both messed up, but Millie stood by me. We talked options, divorce too. That week, I stayed in town. After 6 more calls with no answer until Tuesday, the ball was in her court. Friday afternoon, she called. Visiting friends, wanted to pick up her stuff. She showed up at 6. I wanted to talk, but she said not yet. I asked where she was staying. At a friend's, she said. I asked who, just a friend's house. I told her I'd be gone next week for a show and wanted to talk when I got back. She nodded and left in a car with dark windows. Couldn't tell who drove. I flew to Denver Sunday night to get work Monday. I offered clients the quality and service we built. Compared to cheaper Asian stuff, that was our edge. We kept most business, especially when defects showed up in their product. Tuesday night, I had dinner with Junior Longfellow. We were close enough, I told him my troubles. You don't really need to be at the show this weekend, he said. We're co-sponsoring a booth at the expo. It'll be slow. I've got too many people booked. You should go home and fix things there. I wanted to say no, but agreed. Friday morning, I caught an early flight, home before 9 a.m. The week went well. I was hopeful, even knowing Celia and I had work to do. I drove straight home, and when I opened the door, I knew something was wrong. The place was trashed. Had it been robbed? No, looked like a wild party. Empty booze bottles, trash, dirty dishes everywhere. Burn mark on my new hardwood floor and a big dark stain on the couch. No one was home, but the guest room bed looked used. Celia. Did she really pull that crap? Thought she cared about this house as much as I did. I stormed outside. Backyard looked clean, but hell, there were cigarette butts scattered like trash. I stomped to the cottage, yanked the door open, and there they were. Celia and that fool Marcus passed out on my damn bed like kings of the castle. What the freak is this? I snapped, voice cold and furious. She jumped up quick, fake innocence dripping off her like poison. You weren't supposed to be back till tomorrow, she spat, like that excuse meant crap. Marcus rolled over, smirking like he'd won the jackpot. Yo, calm your crap, man, he said lazy. I'm out of here soon. But you know this witch owns half this place, right? So maybe chill. I stepped forward, teeth clenched. You got 2 damn minutes to haul your punk A out of my house before I make you. She laughed. Cold, sharp, deadly. We're married, dumbass. This ain't just your house anymore. My blood hit boiling point. Married? You call this a marriage? You're a goddamn liar and a snake. She narrowed her eyes. And you're just a jealous F who can't handle losing control. Marcus snorted. Look at these two clowns. Should I grab popcorn or what? I took a deep breath, voice low and deadly serious. 2 minutes. After that, crap's gonna get ugly. And I swear, you won't like how ugly. She glared at me, venom in every syllable. Try me. I turned and walked off, heart pounding, knowing this was far from over. Back at the main house, I hit up Mike and laid out everything that went down. He stayed cool, said he'd call some divorce lawyers and get things rolling. At that point, divorce was looking like the only way out. I called Kim at work and gave her a quick rundown from my side. She said she and Millie would swing by that night. I ordered new locks from the hardware store, felt damn good to take control, and started cleaning up the disaster zone my house had become. Mike got back to me with a meeting set for Monday at 11 a.m. with some lawyer named Darren King. Checked him out online, ex-military, Texas roots, dark hair, square jaw, and this laid-back vibe. Just then, my phone rang. I checked the cottage. Empty, but a mess, too. I got the locks installed, locked everything down. Dinner time rolled around, and Kim and Millie showed up. I spilled the whole story. Even Kim admitted there was no saving this mess. By then, I was way more pissed off than crushed. Meeting Darren King was exactly what I expected. Firm handshake, steady eye contact. He told me straight up that even though she cheated, it wouldn't matter much in the divorce. Asked about my assets. I told him about the house, bank accounts, retirement, and my 9% stake in specialty timbers. He said to brace for everything getting split down the middle. Said he'd have the paperwork ready so I could file by week's end. Walking out of that office, I was numb. My marriage was toast. She'd get half the house, half my shares. Everything I built felt like it was slipping away. I started sinking into a dark place. Called Mike and told him what Darren said. Mike said, "Don't sweat it yet. Focus on yourself. I might have a plan." That helped a bit, but what could Mike really do? Law's law. I threw myself into work just to keep my mind off it. Ted and Kim had already talked with Mike and sounded hopeful. Me? Not so much. Even John, Nathan, and the warehouse crew were optimistic. John came up one day and said, "Boss, we got you. Don't stress." I really appreciated that. On Friday, I served her divorce papers at her job. Instantly, she texted me, "A-hole, you should have sent these at work. I want half of everything." I called Mike, who had me call Darren. Darren told me to cut off all contact if she hired a lawyer. Lawyers would handle the rest. I couldn't stop worrying about the house and my shares. Called Mike back, frustrated. He said, "I know you're stressed, but I'm working on something." Have I ever let you down? Nope. So what's the plan? Can't say yet. Just trust me. Weeks passed, and work became my entire life. I didn't even care about fixing up the house anymore. She could keep it. I was living under a cloud. Not only was my money on the line, but my wife had disappeared. I kept wondering what happened. I knew I was away a lot, but I thought she got it. This was all for us, for our future. Yeah, she liked the attention, flirting around. That dance club scene was a brutal mix of sadness, anger, and confusion. The one good thing, business was bouncing back. We were eyeing Southern California and maybe Texas markets. Orders were coming in from those areas. One night driving home, I saw a dark-tinted car pull up in front of my place. Celia was inside. They definitely knew where I lived. Then Tuesday, Darren called. Celia's lawyer was demanding half my stake in specialty timbers, half my bank accounts, and the house. I lost it. No damn way, Darren told me to chill. They could ask for anything, but he and Mike were working on something. Might have a trick up their sleeves. A couple of weeks later, me, John, Nathan, and Van hit the Z Bar in Old Town for a beer. Marcus's crew walked by and threw me a hard look before hurrying off. John stared them down. "That the idiot's boss?" he asked. "Yeah." They started chatting in Vietnamese. I asked, "What's that?" John smiled. "Don't worry, boss. We got your back." Next day, John called. "There's a preliminary settlement talk at Darren's office Wednesday." "What do I got to do?" "Just show up at 3. I told Mike. "Yeah, we'll be there." "We?" "Like I said, trust me. Maybe it'll all work out." Then he hung up. I was confused but felt a little hopeful. I got to Darren's office early Wednesday morning. His secretary led me down the hall to a quiet office. A few minutes later, I was brought into the conference room. On my side sat Darren, Mike, some guy I didn't know, and me. On the other side was Celia's lawyer, Rick Blazengame. Celia looked as good as ever. Unbelievable. Marcus sat there too, smirking like he owned the place. No handshakes, no chit-chat, just tense silence. Darren kicked it off. All right, Mr. Blazengame, you run this. Go ahead. Rick cleared his throat. If I may, Mrs. Joseph just wants what's rightfully hers after your client kicked her out of their home. Darren nodded. Continue. Rick laid out a list, sliding a paper across the table to us. A. 9% of specialty timbers, LC, half valued at $360,000. B. 50% of the house on Ravenscrest Drive, half worth $325,000. C. 50% of Mr. Joseph's retirement account, $63,000. D. 50% of their joint checking and savings, $19,000. E. Various furniture and household items. Suddenly, the stranger I didn't know opened his briefcase and pulled out some papers. Mr. Blazengame, Mr. Joseph, I'm Aaron Devoisier. I'm an attorney with a doctorate in corporate law. I have some documents you'll want to see. He handed the papers to Celia and Rick. Mr. Joseph doesn't actually own the Ravenscrest house. Specialty Timbers LLC owns it. Rick started to protest. But he owns the company, so... Aaron cut him off. Nope. The company bylaws say the majority can appoint owners, and in cases where it might damage the company, they can cancel shares. Turn to page 3 of the annual meeting minutes. The majority canceled Mr. Joseph's shares before the divorce papers were even served. Marcus exploded. That's bullcrap. Half those shares are yours. Celia started crying, and Rick kept going strong. Darren stared hard at Marcus. One more word out of you, and I'll personally kick you out of here. Marcus slammed the door on his way out. The room went quiet except for Celia's sobs. Darren turned back to Rick. Mr. Blazengame, Mr. Devoisier reviewed and certified all these records with the Oregon Attorney General's office. You can drag this to the highest court, but fair warning, it'll cost your client a fortune. And just so you know, Aaron here has handled way more complicated corporate cases than this. He's consulting pro bono as a favor to his fraternity brother Michael Robinson on behalf of Mr. Joseph. I was stunned. Celia and Rick looked like they'd been hit by a truck. Darren pulled a cashier's check from his folder. Here's $25,000, our final offer. Mr. Blazengame, want some time to talk it over with your client? Yeah, I'd like that. We stepped into Darren's office to give them some space. I hugged Mike and Darren, then went to shake Aaron's hand. He held out his hand and said, "A handshake's enough." I laughed and shook it. Thanks, everyone. I asked Mike, "But don't I still own my house?" He grinned. Don't sweat it. When my old man arranged the house purchase with Terry Peterson, Peterson didn't want to sell to you because he doubted you could keep up with payments. So my dad made the payments and you paid him back. I thought it over. Aaron peeked at the deal papers. That house belongs to Specialty Timbers now. Once we settle, we'll put it in your name. What about my shares? Do I still have 9%? Not quite, but after this, you'll own 14%. I'm giving you an extra 5%. You earned it. Business is doing well. And you're a big reason why. Right then, Darren's secretary announced Rick was ready to talk. Back in the conference room, Darren asked, So, Mr. Blazengame, what's the verdict? Rick replied, It's not so simple. Even if he doesn't own the house, Mrs. Joseph put in a lot of work fixing it up. While Mr. Joseph was traveling, she took care of the place. To Darren's question, Rick went on, we believe $50,000 is a fair minimum for Mrs. Joseph. Darren closed his folder, zipped it up, stood, and said, See you in court. Mike and Aaron stood too. Rick mumbled, Wait, we'll take the $25,000. Darren pulled out the divorce certificate. Celia and I signed the papers. I was finally free, and it didn't cost me much. As Celia and Rick left, Mike spoke loud enough for all to hear. $25,000 is a damn good deal. We could have pushed for $75,000. I only heard one sob from Celia, and that was it. That was kind of rough, Robbie, Aaron said. Oh, not rough enough, man, Mike shot back. We hit the bar to celebrate. I bought the first round, grateful for the legal help, and even more grateful for Mike Robinson's friendship. Friday was a long workday, but a good one. Things were clicking. I felt solid support from Ted, Kim, Mike, John, and the warehouse crew. Felt damn good to be part of a real team. I was still pissed at Celia, but honestly, what hurt the most was the loss of what we had. If just a few things had gone differently, maybe we could have made it work. But how come something strong can fall apart so damn easy? I still don't have an answer. I didn't realize it at the time, but as I was leaving work that day, a dark car with blacked out windows started following me. I didn't pay much mind. I was just glad to be heading home. I cracked open a beer out on the back patio, sat down with my eyes closed, and took a deep breath. Then I heard them. There were 3 of them, and Marcus had a knife. Well, well, well. What do we have here? What do you want, Marcus? I asked, trying not to show I was scared. I want a piece of you. Maybe a couple fingers. Hell, maybe a whole hand. I looked for a way out, but before I could move, the other 2 jumped me and grabbed hold. This is going to be fun, Marcus smirked. Then I heard a ruckus near the cottage. Within seconds, John, Nathan, Van, and a few of their friends were in the yard. Need a hand, boss? John called out. Actually, John, yeah, I said. Yeah? Can you help show these clowns the door? Marcus started backing up, and his guys scattered. John's crew grabbed them fast, and John hauled Marcus in. We're going to have a little chat, buddy, John said as he marched them out. About an hour later, John came back alone. Thanks, man. How'd you know they were here? I looked out the warehouse door and saw a black car tailing you. Those guys? I've seen them before. Real bad news. Thanks, John. How can I repay you? You don't owe me nothing. We're friends. That hit me hard. Almost brought me to tears. And, boss, I guarantee those guys won't be back. I didn't want to think about what might have happened if they did. Fast forward 5 years. Business has had its ups and downs, but mostly ups. I brought on a new guy, not from the logging world, but smart, hardworking, and eager to learn. He works in operations with John and the crew. His name's Chase Devoisier. Yeah, that's Mike's fraternity brother, cousin to Aaron, the same Aaron who helped me out back in the day. Chase wasn't really into college, just needed a job. I thought I was just paying back a favor, but the kid's eliminating it here. Well, Ted still comes by most days, though I think he mostly reads the paper and shoots the breeze with old friends. Kimberly's running the show now, and I pitch in. I travel a lot, though not as much as before. Life's settled down, and my personal world's looking better, too. Thanks in no small part to John and Nathan. I even met Vangeli's sister. Yeah, that's her name. I asked her why, and she told me that when my mom had me, she called me Jelly. Kinda cute, right? And she's just as cute. She's a fitness instructor at the Valley Club, and damn, she's in great shape. I'm almost 10 years older than her, but she doesn't care. She's not shy about the fact that I'm not looking to get married again. She jokes, you look at another woman funny, and I'll kick your A. Then you better hope I don't get mad at you. I just laugh and smile. I never saw Celia again, not once, and not in some sad state or anything. Nope, never crossed paths with her after that. Honestly, I don't even think about her much anymore. The only time I saw Marcus again, he spotted me on the street and crossed to the other side to avoid me. I'm forever thankful for the people in my life. Ted, Kim, Millie, John, Fam, Nathan, Van, and of course, Jelly. But most of all, Mike. I love my home, I love my company, and yeah, I'm one happy guy.